Is first of all, the economy. They think that the economy in one state or one region in Mexico is the economy in the entire country. That's just not true. Mexico is such a large country. 31 plus states. I think it's 31 states. It might be more than that, but at least 31 states, and people have a different way of living in every state, every city, and then the colonias within those cities, just like any other place in the world. Have you ever been to Monterrey? Have you ever been to Mexico City? Well, I think the initial impression, not your impression, but the initial impression someone has is that, it's a depressed economy everywhere, and that's just not true. The homes, the beachfront homes, the lifestyle, the malls, the vehicles, the boats, and now those are just tangible things, but just the way of life it's incredible. Things that I never thought I'd experience or see until I actually saw it for myself. I think many of us who have never come to Mexico before, I'm not talking about as a tourist, but someone who's lived among the people and in various colonias, you tend to think that the way of life in one part of Mexico is the same part in the entire country, and that's just not true. I think it will surprise you. What I recommend is once you get here, move around, find someone who can actually take you into the community, into the central areas, which is like the downtown areas of the cities, to let you see how people live. Because the Mexican people, they're not a monolith. There are so many different ways of being, and yes, the economy affects one part of the country or part of the in certain states where it may not affect other places. But you have to see it for yourself and not allow secondhand information to kind of flood your way of thinking. You have to go in with an open mind and saying what I think about it may not necessarily be true, and then question what you think you know, and then get out and explore. That's the only way. But I've seen some amazing things. I have met some amazing people from all walks of life who have different stories, different experience, different upbringing. But I tell you, it has all allowed me to appreciate the country for what it is, and that's why I'm in Mexico. Because I've come from the culinary sector as well as the corporate sector, food has never been an issue for me. But for some people, that's a big adjustment. If you're coming from the deep south where you've had all this rich, hearty food, it's become part of the culture to gather with family and have certain staples, your cornbread, your greens, your beans, your smoked meats, or whatever makes food culturally significant for you, then you're either going to have a challenge, or if you're open-minded, you're going to have a new, beautiful experience. Some people have had a hard time adjusting. Some people from other countries have even brought over spices from their homeland just so they can have a taste of home. Now, they may not come across the same ingredients in the mercados or some of the stores, but whatever they add those flavors from home to, it'll be reminiscent of something they've experienced. So it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both. But I will say, if you open up your mind to new ways of doing things, exploring and just tasting, how we do kids that say, I don't like that, just by looking at it. Don't do that. Just taste it, and if you like it, great. If you don't, then you can just cross that off the list and say, well, I tried it and I don't like it. And to me, food is what connects you to the culture. Their spices, their indigenous ingredients, the way they prepare it, the way they infuse love, their energies, the way they use their hands to either prepare the food, to eat. Some people eat with their hands, and I just love that, and I embrace it because it helps me connect to the culture, and food is such a great way to build those relationships and those bonds in the new country. my heart will always be in the United States, but I'm a free bird. That's how I live, that's how I roll, that's how I've always moved in life. I'm an explorer, and I want to wander, I want to savor, I want to thrive, and I want to do that wherever I am on the planet. So I consider myself a global citizen, and I move about the world that way. I've been to many countries, I've explored many cuisines as someone who comes from the culinary arts sector as well as the corporate sector, and I just love meeting new people. I'm a curious natured person. You know, I love the way people live, and I'm just curious about the way they do things and how it's so much different than the way I live and the way I grew up and my experiences. But that's what makes it a beautiful experience, to be able to move about the country, move about the globe, and just discover how people live and what makes this planet so beautiful. So will I ever move back to the United States permanently? Well, I move back and forth as much as I need to. As a matter of fact, I'm here in this beautiful botanic garden right now. But for me, I just love to explore, and as long as I have life and breath in my body, that's what I'm gonna keep doing. I'm just gonna, be like a tumbleweed for a while and go from place to place, and wherever I land, that's where I'll go. Just give me a map and a dart. Wherever it lands, that's where I'll be. Okay, that wraps things up today. Thank you all for all of your questions, and this has been really a great way to share my experience about Mexico with you all. Keep the questions coming, because I may do a part 2, but I appreciate my community. I appreciate your curiosity, your interest, and I'm just gonna leave you with these words. As you explore the world, and even if you're considering moving abroad, or you just wanna explore through my eyes or someone else that may be traveling abroad, just wander, savor, and thrive, and just build your life the way you want. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You don't have to be in one place or the other. It can be both, and a beautiful experience. Okay, well, I'll see you next time.